Okay, it's 5:30 p.m. We have a quorum, and we're going to get started. Trustee Victor Gomez will lead us in prayer.
Please stand. Our Father in heaven, we give you thanks for the many provisions that you bestowed and blessed us with. We ask that you impart your wisdom and your understanding in us as we deliberate the businesses of the college, and help us to and guide us in the direction that you want us to lead, so that we can positively affect our faculty, staff, and most importantly, our students and our future. And we give you thanks for those that defend this nation and this country, and we give you thanks for all of those blessings through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen. Amen.
Are there any members or visitors present? I know of one visitor. We do have public comments. Okay.
We do not, sir.
We do not. Okay, all right. I thought we would. We do not. Okay, members and visitors. I know of one visitor, former B County Judge Stephanie Silva Moreno is here. Welcome. Is there anyone else, Dr. Suarez, that you know of? Anyone in attendance?
No, not correct.
Okay.
Former board member, Bill.
Oh, welcome. Welcome. All right. Okay. Public comments. I'm told there are no one signed up for public comments. So are there any comments by individual board members at this time?
No, sir.
No? Okay. All right. Before item number 5, the update by the college president, I would like to move up, there's no objection by the board, item 9A under new business, which is the oath of office for Coastal Bend College Board of Trustees, place number 7.
Place 2.
Oh, 2, I'm sorry. That's right, 7 is mine. Okay, that's where the 7 came from. All right. Okay, place 2, if you would like to go toward the podium, Judge Silva and Anna Marie, and there are 2 oaths that have to be administered to our new board member, Anna Marie Silvas.
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
In the name by the authority of the state of Texas,
I, Anna Marie Silvas,
I, Anna Marie Silvas,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
that I will faithfully execute the duties of the office
of Coastal Bend Board of Trustees for Place 2
of Board of Coastal Bend Board of Trustees, Place 2
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will to the best of my ability
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution and laws
the Constitution and laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God. And then I have to read that one, right? I do the other one?
It's just a statement.
She just has to read
Okay.
it out loud,
Okay.
yes. Yes.
I, Anna Marie Silvas, do solemnly swear that I have not directly nor indirectly paid, offered, promised to pay, contributed, or promised to contribute any money or thing of value, or promised any public office or employment for the giving or withholding of a vote at the election of which I was elected, or as a reward to secure my appointment or confirmation, whichever the case may be, so help me God, for title of position to which I was appointed, Coastal Bend Board of Trustee for Place 2. Under the penalties and perjury, I declare that I have read the foregoing statement and the facts stated herein are true. Anna Marie Silvas.
Now you need to sign that form with Anna and the oath also.
Okay. 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 Replace it again.
Can you take your seat up here, Silva?
Yes.
Okay. item 5, which is the update by the college president, Dr. Suarez.
Thank you, Board Chair. So for this month, I did want to highlight some updates that we've had just over the past couple of weeks. Not as lengthy as the updates that I've had in other board meetings just because of the winter break. But definitely one of the highlights was our fall 2025 commencement ceremonies. I think we can all agree that just how measured and succinct that ceremony was. A lot of our parents and students really appreciated of the production. We also made it a point to make sure that we engaged the students during the event. We had a 360 booth available for students to actually participate and take photos with either the friends, other graduates, or their family. I know I got some good feedback from the parents actually noting that they appreciated how the length of the actual ceremony. Some parents were advising, no, I'm actually going to be able to go back to work after this. So those are the nuances of the realities that our students and our parents face with respect to graduation and commencement ceremonies. So I think it was a production that was very well put together. I want to thank Candy Fuller, who is the chair for the graduation committee, and the graduation committee that put that work together. As always, they do an excellent job every single year, and as a president and as trustees, we're able to participate in that experience with our students and not have to worry about the logistics of the event. So I just want to send a big shout out and kudos to those teams for putting that event together. The next item that I wanted to share is the CBC Return Week. That took place from January 12th through the 16th. Basically, this was our faculty return week where we had professional development opportunities for faculty and staff. Really the highlight and the focus of this faculty return week was assessment and planning as we begin our work for the upcoming year with respect to accrediting reports that we have to submit to organizations like SACS and the coordinating board. We want to make sure that all the administrators and all the employees at the college are well aligned in the work that has to take place. I will share that part of the programming was actually the deliverables for this week was the assessment plans that we received from our instructional teams and units. And I'm very impressed in the work that has been taking place and how they're focusing on continuous improvement of the work that's taking place within academic programs, which ultimately feeds into the success of our students. So I want to thank Dr. Johnson and the academic leadership team for guiding that work, and more importantly, our faculty that lead that work day to day with our students and within the classrooms, and specifically making sure that our students are successful within the curriculum. So the next event that I wanted to highlight was we had a presentation at Santa Gertrudis ISD. We actually was able to participate in that event, and the focus was AI, for artificial intelligence. So we provided a training to the ISD, and we had over 60 individuals participate in that presentation. It was really good for not only the college to be recognized within the local community, but also for us to provide that professional development in this new resource that we're all using in the day-to-day work that takes place. And it was very interesting to realize that there's still a lot of individuals that are not using artificial intelligence in their work. That's also a good thing. But we were able to once again provide that training to the ISD, and it was very well received. We did get a survey feedback that was provided by the ISD as part of that presentation, and it was very well received. I think the only feedback that we got that we could improve the presentation on was just having some hands-on training through the presentation. So we're looking at next year actually having maybe a lab where we can facilitate this type of production. We've also had some community members as part of that event ask if the college is planning on developing any type of programs that would focus on artificial intelligence or the use of it, specifically within industry. And that's something that we're having conversations with our instructional teams to make sure that if it's something that our communities need, that we can produce it as part of the work that's taking place at the college. So very excited about that work as well. The next event that we had on campus was the Leadership B County Academy. This took place on January 15th. We had a big group of community leaders that actually attended the college, and we presented them with the State of the College address and really informing them on the work that's taking place at CBC. Things like the development of the Associates of Applied Science in Project Management, the Promise to Promise program which the board has approved, even the 4.5-day work week. That's the one I get a little bit of grief on with respect to the presentations. Anytime I'm talking to private industries, they say, well, we can't move towards that model just yet, but it allows us to compete within the industry and really make sure that our employees are happy and that we're receptive of the time and effort that they put into our mission and our vision. And with respect to the 4.5-day work week, it's been well received. We actually did an informal survey as part of the return week. in a room full of faculty and staff, and we asked them, how many of you don't like the 4.5-day work week? No one raised their hand, so by consensus, everyone loves the new framework. And actually this past Friday, I know Tara, myself, and VP Blydry, we actually just stood outside at noon to see the cars pass by and wave by at everyone. And it was really surreal in a sense because all of the employees were leaving and we knew that we were going to stay behind and work on some other projects and tasks that comes along with administration. But our employees are happy, and I want to thank the board for just making those initiatives a reality and really taking a bold approach to how we improve the work-life balance that we have at the college. So thank you for that work. The other item that we're presenting on today is obviously our first class day is today. So we were very excited to have students back on campus and being able to re-engage them here, specifically at the college and within our service district, our sites in Pleasanton, Alice, and Kingsville. I want to thank just the administration, the team, once again our faculty and staff for undertaking this work and making sure that when students come to the campus that they have a true college experience and that they're able to make use of the benefit that we have here at the college with respect to academic programming. So just wanted to highlight that. I also will share the preliminary numbers that we have specifically for enrollment right now. We are up in enrollment as compared to last spring. It's a small percentage. Currently, the numbers that we ran earlier this morning, we were at about 1%. The interesting piece of that information is actually the increase that we're seeing is in traditional students. So we're seeing traditional student increase, and I think that speaks to the work that the enrollment management team is doing. I want to thank Dean Estrada for that work and really making sure that our recruiters are out there and engaging our students to bring them to the college and make sure that the education that we have here is accessible to them. In relation to that, I also want to introduce Larry Barroso, Dr. Barroso, who is joining us this evening. Dr. Barroso is our new Vice President of Student Affairs and Enrollment Management. So we're excited to have Dr. Barroso. It's actually his first day at CBC as well, in conjunction with our students. But Dr. Barroso, I say genuinely on behalf of myself that we're very excited to have you here and see your leadership and your vision as it applies to Student Affairs and Enrollment Management moving forward for the college. So thank you in advance for the work that will take place. So going back to the enrollment focus that we have, I do have some other very interesting information that I'll share as part of our mission moment that I think is very pertinent. And then lastly, the last item I wanted to share as part of the presidential updates is a partnership that we have with Goodwill. This signing will take place on Tuesday, January 27th, so I would encourage any of the trustees that are available to participate in that event. It's going to be hosted in Rockport. This is actually one of the most innovative partnerships that I have seen within my career of higher education. And we give credit where credit is due. Dr. Bird, who was our previous Vice President of Enrollment Management, led this initiative. We're going to see the benefits, or reap the benefits of it moving forward as part of this agreement. So one of the nice things that he left behind is part of his legacy, obviously. But VP Blydry, if you'd like to just share a little bit of information regarding that partnership and what it means for Coastal Bend College as an institution, I think that would be appreciated.
Yes, sir. So the partnership that we have with Goodwill is we are aligning our college credentials to the training that Goodwill is providing to all of the underserved populations from the Valley through Houston. Goodwill provides training that provides work readiness for individuals that might be economically disadvantaged, housing challenged, food insecurities. They provide this training free of charge in hopes that they would find an occupation and they'd be able to provide a better life for themselves. Just having these job skills weren't good enough for us at Coastal Bend College, so we are backing their training with college level certifications. So now when these individuals go for a job, they are applying for a job with college credentials on their resume, giving them a leg up to get them hired, to get them jump started into a better life. And that's the goal of the Goodwill Project. Providing it at no cost.
Thank you.
So that's the information that I have as part of the presidential report.
Question on that.
Yes, definitely.
Do we get some kind of a credit for the college as far as them being served? Is there something
Yes.
that we can?
We are providing occupational skills awards to the individuals so that we will have that documented on a college transcript and reported. Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
All right, if there aren't any other questions or comments, we'll move on to item 6, the mission moment. Dr. Sweats.
So for this month's mission moment, we're highlighting on enrollment management and our enrollment strategy. And a part of one of the scariest pieces of enrollment at any institution of higher education is the DREG list. Basically, that's the list that we have before all payments are due for the beginning of the semester. And that can really impact enrollment from basically a student headcount perspective. So as part of the mission moment, I wanted to recognize Glenda Gomez. Is she here, Tara? I didn't see her.
I saw it.
Hi, Glenda. So thank you for being here. And I'll share us. So we met on January 7th. I recall the day. I actually have it written on my cell phone. It's a very important day for me. But one of the things that we actually met to plan on was the DREG list. At that point was at 309 students. So when we talk about an enrollment management strategy, that has the potential of having a detrimental impact on enrollment and student count specifically. So part of the work that Glenda put together in conjunction with our enrollment management team and our admissions director and financial aid director was really putting together a strategy to begin outreach and making sure that those students were either on a payment plan or that there was some type of support or verification on any outstanding requirements that they had at the college. So as part of the work that took place, just in a matter of 2 days, they put together a call campaign. They had a script ready and actually facilitated the use of the script in making sure that we were making outreach and engagement to the students. They actually brought that list down to 160 students from 309. So I know those numbers are obviously important, but then some of the remaining students that they had on the list were 35 that were new enrolled, so that increased the number back within the list. But as of January 8th, we had established 147 installment plans, generating approximately $213,000 in down payments for 25% of the plan that's needed to basically initiate the installment plan. They had secured $75,000 in paid in full for student accounts as part of that outreach and that engagement. And then they had added an additional 14 students, representing 16,000 students that we anticipate in revenue generated. So as a whole, what that means, the efforts, Glenda, that you and your team put together, I know initially they sent me the numbers with respect to student count, and I followed up and says, can you give me a dollar amount, with respect to our operations and the impact that this could potentially have on our college. These efforts represent approximately $663,000 in projected revenue for the college for this upcoming fall semester. So when we talk about student success, when we talk about being strategic and what it means from an enrollment management standpoint, Glenda, I want to thank you for this work on behalf of myself and the board.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And we don't have the updated numbers, but I'm sure that the amount went up as of today, because I know you all have been doing some additional work. So, but that's, I did want to recognize you. We do have a little gift basket for you. I'll make sure you get it before the end of the day. But once again, thank you, Glenda. We appreciate your work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 7, the consent agenda. There are 3 items under the consent agenda. Item 7A, consideration possible action to approve the October 21st regular board minutes. Item 7B, consideration possible action to approve the November 18th regular board meeting minutes. And item 7C, MOU between Workforce Solutions Coastal Bend and Coastal Bend College. Dr. Suarez, is there anything you want to say about?
Just regarding the MOU
Yes.
with Workforce Solutions, this is a MOU that we renew every year. The reason it's coming back to the board in January is the last time we renewed the MOU was for the fall semester. So just to align with basically their yearly planning, we're bringing it back to the board for a yearly renewal. So this MOU will run from January through the end of December of 2026. So no changes in the MOU or the agreement. Once again, just making sure that we adopt it within that yearly timeframe.
Move to approve consent agenda.
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded to approve consent agenda items 7A through 7C. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Mr. President, I'm
Yes.
going to abstain from the minutes since I was not
Okay.
present at the 2 meetings.
All right, thank you,
But
thank
I
you,
will
Ms.
vote
Sidman.
yes for the
All right,
master.
Okay.
agreement.
all right. Motion passes, approval of the consent agenda. Next agenda item is number 8, reports. Dr. Suarez?
So just some quick reports on item A, the B County Appraisal District results. I did want to share that the board had adopted or approved at the September 16, 2025 meeting to allocate all of the 393 votes for the B County Appraisal District to Paul San Miguel. So the board report that is provided as part of the packet is just outlining the results of the votes across the district. So we're just presenting this information to the board for reporting purposes. No action is required or necessary.
Okay.
The next report, the 2025 State Mandated Racial Profiling Report. This is a yearly report that we bring to the board that is put together by our police office at the college. I did want to give an overview, but Chief, if you want to provide a summary, I know in reviewing the report, we had a total of 9 traffic stops, and that was basically the totality of this reporting for this specific year, but if you want to provide any details, that would be appreciated for the trustees.
All were students except for one. We continue to have the same problem, but we curtailing it from 1:30 p.m. until 3. We sit out here in the front, and so those who are late going to practice, they know they can't drive the wrong way. That's all I'm going to say. Other than that, we had a great year. And for the record, my name is Dr. C.J. Walden. I'm the Chief of Police and Emergency Management, and we are in full compliance with both federal and state requirements for the college.
Thank you, Chief. So the next report is the 2025 Association of Community College Trustees Leadership Congress Report. This, I just wanted to provide a quick synopsis of some professional development that our trustees have attended over the past fall semester. So from October 22nd through the 25th of last year, 2025, the ACCT held a leadership conference. The focus was reimagining community college innovation for changing the world. I know Trustee Elisa that you attended that conference, and some of the notes that I have here is the conference focused on pre-Congress academies and professional development, governance, leadership and innovation, strategic issues in higher education, and networking, obviously some specialized meetings that took place at the conference. I'm not too sure if you want to share just some tidbit regarding your experience or any information.
I have a lot to share. I took a lot of notes, but I don't want to burden everyone. So what I'll do is do a handout and then pass it out and you can read it. But I'd like to highlight, if I could just give me to look at it a little bit. ACCT is for trustees, so it's a great opportunity for us to go. They have, I want to say, hundreds of workshop opportunities for us. There's something to interest each of us. And it's about board governance. It's about the new things that are coming on that we can look at to better improve the schools. And they partner with a lot of key important people, one of them being Achieving the Dream. I don't know how familiar you are with Achieving the Dream. We were the first college that received funding with the initial grant that they offered, and it was quite an honor at that time. It was a nationwide outreach, and we were the sole college, especially in South Texas, that received that funding, although all applied. And they were so beneficial to us in numerous ways. They provided coaches that presented key techniques that we could use in our operations. We had a data coach that went through the whole process and looked at our data and evaluated it and told us how we could do it better and then how we could use it for planning. And then we had an overall coach that came in and gave us strategic information. We had workshops between faculty and administrators and students that were called Courageous Conversations. And what you did then is you talked about the things that were barriers to you going to school, and we discovered teachers were surprised at some of the requirements, some of the things that students brought up, like how having a flat tire could influence the rest of their semester. You know, they had to replace a tire. And then the perspective of the student support staff with administration on things that they didn't recognize were issues for us, or how we could better help them and their students and provide services to them. And it was very open, and some of the things were hard to hear, and hence they were called Courageous Conversations, because we laid it all on the line. But it made us a better team, and there was very positive feedback. I met with the Achieving the Dream people there, and I don't know much about our participation level. I'm not sure if you're aware of how much we're participating, but they were eager to help us and restart some of that dynamic. In the past, they have provided grants of all kinds for us. They funded our QEP back in the day, and they also provided us $50,000 in emergency funds for scholarships for students, or things like flat tires if you had one, and you needed to repair it, you could go and it would be just a grant given to the student, so they wouldn't have to be out of pocket. If they lost their textbooks, we could replace their textbooks. Another key feature that was discussed at the conference was textbooks and going away from textbooks, right? And the need of how much that means to students. And so I brought a bunch of stuff that you can distribute as you see fit, but there were several companies there that were providing solutions to not using textbooks, and their data was fantastic on students' retention, how it affected student retention, just not requiring textbooks. Because they had percentages, and I have them in my notes, but I'm not gonna remember how much, but how many students actually started classes without textbooks. And the statistics on them having to stop out or drop out because of that were very high, and then the success rate henceforth in being able to do that. And some of the solutions are offered at a base rate for students that would cover most of their costs. And then they've done surveys with students and did experimental trials with it, and the students loved the resources, and the faculty were very, very receptive. So I'm hoping that we can consider that and look at some of the options out there. It would be a great student advantage not to have to buy textbooks, I'm sure. Let me see, let me look at my notes. There's a handout by Train, and they do air conditioning systems, and they mentioned a tax exempt funding incentive right now that will provide up to 50% of eligible property costs, and we're eligible as a tax exempt entity, and they will help if we are interested in utilizing clean electricity, and they list the ones that are available. So I don't know if we're already taking advantage of that or if that's something that we can consider. There's a national university, and I spoke to the lady at Link. It's a nonprofit, veteran-founded university, and they provide great services for veterans. It's a great opportunity for our veterans that wish to transfer. They have wellness programs, and they have communities of veterans to deal with some of the issues that they may be facing. They provide tuition for them at 50% of the regular tuition, and they have $25,000 in scholarships available to them. They also offer doctoral programs for community college employees at a 15% discount. All the programs are available online, and they are at will, kind of. You go in and you decide when you want to take this course, and they're very flexible in the scheduling. So it's something that I think could be a benefit to our employees. I'm not sure what 15% of their tuition is, but it is something to look at, especially if you're looking to pursue a doctoral degree in the future. Let me see. Lightcast had some tremendous offerings. There's a company called Lightcast. I don't know if you're familiar with it, I wasn't. And they have great, interesting products. I went to one of their workshops, and they had 3 colleges that were represented, talking at length about how wonderful they were. One of the things that I found that was really interesting to me, and we may already be doing it or have something similar, but it was a curriculum alignment component called Skillabye. And what it does is it analyzes, you feed into it your learning content, your syllabus, the instructors do that, course content, and then what they do is they map the skills that you teach in that class based on the information you provided, and they align it with real market labor skills that are needed and tell you if you're meeting those skills, if there's some that are new that you're not targeting, and what other degrees could be used for this curriculum. So I thought it was a really exciting tool. It does a lot of the hard work for us. They have a routing system that's AI driven, and what this does is when a student calls in or you have students waiting for services, they route to the right advisor, to the right person, and they keep a complete response that they even offer to the advisor based on the problem the student said. So it's, just using technology and making work faster and easier, and not having the disgruntled students having to wait for a long time before they get a call back. They have a system, and we'll probably already have this, that converts documents like transcripts and IDs, applications into digital resources that go directly into the student's thing, so no one is having to do data input or copying material like that. Then another initiative was Kids on Campus, and this is a partnership with Illumina Foundation, so there's grant funding for this. And what they're doing is getting Head Start programs together with community colleges and bringing them on campus, utilizing space and using students as instructors and learning as part of a practicum. And the Head Start uses it as a practicum for their Head Start teachers as well. So just another great deal there. Gosh, so much. Oh, one thing that I wanted to bring up was SNAP ENT, and this is a program that connects anybody who gets SNAP with high-quality education and training, and they provide support services. There's a multi-year grant fund to help us with the resources to do that, to connect SNAP recipients and get them into college and trainings. And this is important because 23.4% of community college students have experienced food insecurity within the last 30 days, according to a survey. A thing that's important about that is that on a lower level, we can help the students that we have now see if they qualify for SNAP benefits and help them apply for it if that's necessary. And on a higher level, we can look at this program and see if we can get funding for it. Lots more, but I'll send it in the handout and then you can distribute it as needed. It was a great work. It always is. It's something that we should consider going in groups because we can benefit a lot. If we do nothing else, that would be a real worthwhile conference to attend.
Thank you, Trustee.
I'm glad you did all that fine work, and you said you were going to put it in writing, and
Yes.
I think it's very important for our students to do this, or look at it, and possibly utilize
So the services.
I have a question regarding that. So when is the conferences usually held?
It's usually in October, the latter part of October. Another thing is that I have information for us as trustees that I'll share either if we can in executive session or a different workshop, but all the services that ACCT provides to trustees and the instruments that they use, lots of great information for us.
Thank you, Trustee, and I think it'll be important for us to look at that information because there's some projects that we're already undertaking that we can align.
Yes.
And definitely find some other
Our PVP
focuses.
for one.
Yeah, thank you. So the next report is the 2025 Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board Higher Ed Conference Report. Once again, this conference took place December 8th through the 10th in Austin. Basically, Higher Ed 2025 brought together leaders, policymakers, higher education administrators, business and workforce partners to basically review policies and changes within the higher education landscape. Some of the key focus areas were governance training, student-centered perspectives, and workforce and employer engagement. Once again, I know several of our trustees were able to attend, Vice Chair Bear, Secretary Flynn, Trustee Rodriguez. I know one of the focuses was open educational resources.
Yes.
That's one of the things that as a college, we have really taken a very decisive approach to reviewing and assessing the implementation and adoption of open educational resources college-wide. We work with our instructional team to basically take a very proactive stance to begin to transition all of our classes or courses into an open education resource framework. The goal is for that work to take place by this upcoming fall. So once again, Dr. Johnson, I don't know if you want to share just some additional information on that work that's taking place.
We are, we are steadily moving and progress is being made. February is our first hearing on that, in which faculty will have the opportunity to voice their opinion, well, not opinion, but to voice their concern whether they should implement or choose to not go that route. But overall, our faculty are in support of it, and more than likely, hopefully we would reach that 100% mark as far as those that are eligible for OERs. Hopefully we can do that by fall 2026.
Dr. Johnson, some of the material that I brought is coordinated so where they don't have to do as much of the work, it's provided for them for each of the classes and the resources are available for them and for students. I don't know it, like you'll know it once you look at it, but the information's here. I don't know the cost either, but maybe that would be something that would get more buy-in if you're not having to go hunt down the information that's free for you to use, but it's in a central location and it's, you know, a format that is accessible for everyone.
Thank you so much. All materials will help.
And that's what I have on the reports for this month.
All right, I think we move back to item 9, new business. The next item being 9B, consideration and possible action to order Coastal Bend College District Trustee regular elections for May the 2nd, 2026 for places 1 and 3 being full terms and place 2 an expired term. Dr. Swets?
So this, we're bringing this recommendation for the board for consideration. The recommendation is that Coastal Bend College District Trustees place on the regular election for May 2nd, 2026 for place 1 and 3 for full term once again, and place 2 for an expired term.
So I move and authorize the order of Coastal Bend College Trustees regular election for May 2nd, 2026 for places 1 and 3 full terms and place 2 unexpired term.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is 9C, consideration and possible action to approve extending a contract for bank depository services through February of 2027. Dr. Swets.
So just to highlight, the college originally entered into this agreement with Prosperity Bank back in March 1st of 2020. The original agreement provided an initial 5-year term expiring February 2025 with a 5-year option to extend on a year-to-year basis. We're bringing this back to the trustees for a 1-year extension. And so the recommendation is that the board would approve of a 1-year extension of the contract for depository services through Prosperity Bank for 2027.
And this is so we can,
I'm sorry.
second, it's fine.
Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next item is 9D, review and action as necessary on athletics and community engagement redesign. Dr. Swartz?
So I did want to share that this is one of the goals with respect to program reviews across the college that the trustees has set for me as part of my strategic goals for this year. One of them obviously being a review of athletics and redesign and the viability of our athletic programs in conjunction with other reviews that we're undertaking currently as a college. Now being that we have our Vice President of Planning and Institutional Effectiveness of that division structured, we're able to provide the board with data to make informed decisions off of those requests. So I'm going to defer to VP Bligher to share the information with respect to the specific review report.
Ladies and gentlemen of the board, so we completed a viability study of our athletics, and upon review, we're coming forward with a recommendation for a redesign of our athletic programs to include a more comprehensive community engagement piece. So what we're recommending ultimately is the sunsetting of women's volleyball, men's basketball, and women's basketball, utilizing the funds saved from those endeavors and investing them into starting women's soccer, mariachi as a competitive program, and starting a community recreation league that we're going to call Cougar Active Life for the community. So the community can engage in recreation activities because we know this community currently doesn't have one. And it would be for our students as well as the community members alike. By engaging in this redesign, the college would save roughly $250,000. And it would engage more students and more community members on our campus. That's the overall view. This study and this recommendation speaks nothing about any of our current students, any of our current programs, the effort, the tasks, the undertakings, they've gone through the hardships. This redesign is purely for community engagement to better serve our mission, which is to bring life-enriching activities to our students and the communities we serve. To further bolster that, inside of your packets, you'll see a one-pager on a survey that we put out to the communities at large through our social medias. We had 173 responses, 143 of those individuals reside inside of B County. And a large part of what they're asking for, pickleball, I don't even know what pickleball is, but people love pickleball. Yoga, being available in the gymnasium for community members. Open gym time, then We've also gotten summer rec leagues for the youth. We've gotten competitive recreational sports programs for 23%, followed by fitness and exercise, art education, and art appreciation workshops being offered to the community as well. As we can see from the community survey itself, the lowest ranked individual programs that the community wanted to participate in was volleyball and basketball recreation league, further solidifying the community's involvement inside of these particular sports as it relates to the community's engagement. Now, mariachi as a competitive program, the largest competition in the nation is in San Antonio, Texas. Laredo Community College has started a mariachi program. South Texas College is starting their mariachi program. We're seeing it grow in all of the university platforms. In fact, they just held the competition in San Antonio where Roma High School mariachi won their division. University of Houston calls themselves the Pumas. Of course, Cougar in Spanish would be Pumas. We're going to steal that name from them. But with the mariachi program, we now have competitive performing arts that are also being offered scholarships. And that's a big change from Coastal Bend and the trajectories that we've had. Before, only athletes were afforded the opportunity to obtain scholarships to attend Coastal Bend. Now, performing arts students, musicians, and those performing arts individuals that were denied an opportunity to attend Coastal Bend on a scholarship would now be afforded that opportunity. So it really is an expansion of program access for Coastal Bend College. Now I wish we had an unlimited supply of funds so we could keep everything. Unfortunately, with the viability study, we know that we're limited in our access. In addition, the biggest change that we saw transpire was House Bill 8. House Bill 8 changed the way the community colleges are funded, so it moves into a performance peak funding model. Individuals have to obtain the degree for us to obtain the formula funding. Under the previous model, it was contact hours, so any student sitting in a class was gaining us contact hour reimbursement funding from the state. With that switch to House Bill 8, it's no longer how many students you bring in, or if they stay for 2 semesters before they transfer off, it's did they complete their certificate or degrees. And so bearing that in mind, it also weighed in heavily on the athletic numbers of the viability study. Now with the additional personnel discussions, that is 551.074, so I cannot discuss in open session, I would defer to Dr. Suarez in executive session to conclude that conversation. But I'll field any questions that the board may have.
I'd like to ask, how long did you conduct the study?
That study was run, so that survey was run for 2 weeks online on our social medias. I believe the start date was January 5th.
So it ran for 2 weeks, you said? 2 weeks.
And that was the engagement that we received from the community just off of social media.
And so our students that come in and play volleyball and basketball, they're 2 lowest ones, they transfer out, right? Do they?
Yes.
How many of those actually complete here?
As a whole,
Yeah.
depends on the year. 4 years ago, men's basketball had the highest completion rate, which was at about 70%, and that has not been replicated since or before. Traditional graduation rate is between 10 and 15%.
For basketball and volleyball? For-
Yes, as a whole,
As a
and
whole.
that's over the last 10 years. So that's just going to show the continued trend down.
Well, the way the government changed the rules of the game, for our game, if you will, our business.
It is. One of the key aspects also that's not inside of this report is our current students. So the sophomores will be graduating and completing their year and transferring off to the university. Our freshmen that came to us for volleyball, women's basketball, men's basketball, we will be pushing to assist them in transferring off to a university or college to continue their athletic career. Should they choose to no longer chase their athletic career, and they wish to remain at Coastal Bend College, we will honor whatever scholarship they're on this year, next year, to ensure that it's no deviation of funds coming out of their progression.
That's pretty good for us, honorable.
It's,
Okay.
this wasn't the student's choice, and we want to hold the students harmless.
Do we know how many actually want to stay?
Not yet, sir, that information is forthcoming.
Will that include housing?
Yes, sir. Whatever scholarship parameters they currently have as
Yeah.
freshmen, if they choose to stay and finish their academic career with us, we will honor those exact parameters.
On top of your head, how many students you have that we're talking about?
Freshmen probably make up about 60 to 70% of each of the sports, with a total affected student body of about 60. My math isn't that fast, I'm going to defer to our CFO to give me 60% of 60. We're going to roughly say it's about 40 students that would be eligible, but within that, how many of those students are on scholarship and how many of those students choose to stay academically is a variable I don't have that I can provide at a later date once we have clarity on that decision.
Okay.
When is the latest that we can make this decision?
The board is free to make this decision.
Timely wise, to notify people, to do whatever?
So the decision, the sooner the better in the fact of personnel matters, of assisting them, giving them notice. If a coach chooses to continue as a coach and move on in their career, the earlier we notify them that this is going to be approved, the more time they have to find a job. If we're going to talk in specifics, basketball coaching staffs, prime hiring season would be April and May, but volleyball's prime hiring season is right now.
So is volleyball over now?
Yes, ma'am.
The season's over?
Volleyball ended in the fall, basketball's still in season.
Okay, and when does basketball end?
I know it's March, do we have a specific date? March 14th.
And volleyball will begin when?
Not until August 1st.
Being a former athlete, not on the college level, but I'm thinking as an athlete now, that we feel for them because you spent your lifetime, or the young lifetime, up to 20 or whatever, preparing for this, going to college and getting scholarships and playing. So I feel for you guys and ladies. I would like to ask to help them all, you guys and girls, talk to this man right here for any assistance. You know, we just don't want to leave you hanging. See what your possibilities are. If you have questions, please go to this man and ask him what needs to be done.
The board may still have questions and comments, and we'll entertain them, but I just want to indicate that the plan is for the board to further discuss this in executive session and not take any action at this part of the meeting. We may take action after executive session. That's to be determined. So I just want to note that ahead of time. But if there are any other questions or comments, please feel free to ask.
So do we need to entertain a motion at this point to
No.
table it?
No.
Not till after executive session.
My concern is that as we were presenting the information, obviously there's a lot of interested people here, and there were some nods and some, you know, and that touches me. They did not sign up to speak. Is there a possibility that they can do that retroactively, or does it have to be done?
Has to be done before.
It has to be legally done before?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a very important piece of information.
I would recommend that you'll attend the next meeting, be sure and sign up. We need to know how you feel and what you're thinking. And again, I know you guys and girls have been working since you were 7, 8 years old to get a scholarship. And you're here, and it's, like someone said, it's a business. But we do want to help you as much as we can. So, if you need to attend the next meeting, it's going to be February the third Tuesday of the month. Be sure and sign up, and we'll listen.
17th, February 17th.
But I just want to know, it's possible the board will take action at this meeting after executive session. I don't know, I can't, say yes or no, but that is a possibility that the board will take action after executive session tonight. Are there any other questions or comments regarding this?
No, I just want everybody to realize that we don't have every bit of information. A lot of that has to be, there's some information that needs to be given to us in executive session because it involves personnel matters. So, just so if you're wondering why, that's why.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Whiteley. All right, we will hold off on any vote on item 9D till after executive session. Agenda item number 10, approval of financial reports for December 2025. Dr. Suarez, Tara?
Yes, I'll defer to Tara for once during the meeting actually, so she got off easy this month.
I feel like Dr. Suarez could present because we met earlier today. We have the December 31st, 2025 financial statements. As far as the reports go, the first report is the statement of net position. As you can see, we have just over $14 million in unrestricted cash and almost $5 million in restricted cash. The restricted cash mostly relates to the tax maintenance note that is still in the bank. A lot of those projects, we're going to be seeing those funds being spent down, so that will relate to some of our income statement whenever we get to that. If you go to your budget to actual, we'll start with the unrestricted. I don't know which order they are in your board book, but the unrestricted and auxiliary. This is your income statement. It shows your revenue and expenses. We also include your original adopted budget and any budget adjustments. As you see on the state appropriations, the base tier and performance tier, we've already received 50% of that funding on October 15th. The next payment for 25% will be received February 15th. Fast and dual credit, we have a budget of $1.5 million. We have not received any of that funding to date. We did certify some funds, approximately $193,000 was certified on January 8th. The bulk of those dollars relate to the prior fiscal year. And then tuition and fees, we're really close to hitting our budget as far as tuition and fees go. You can see exemptions and waivers, they're down. Dual credit is currently a manual adjustment, and so you're not going to see all of those exemptions recorded here. We're going through that kind of in detail just to make sure that things are posting correctly. But based on last year's audit report, it looks like the dual credit was a manual adjustment, and we're trying to get that into the system where it's going to pull into these financial statements. Ad valorem taxes, we approximately have 4 months of collection. We've collected 48% of that. There was, December is usually a pretty high collection month, but there is an abatement that's outstanding with the wind farm, and they had incorrectly billed that wind farm, so they pulled back $134,000 of our ad valorem funding, so we didn't receive as much in the month of December, which is why you're only seeing $243,000.
They incorrectly pulled it?
They incorrectly billed them, and so we got a notification from BCAT saying that they had incorrectly billed based on that, and so we don't receive the abatement dollars until later, but we are doing an inquiry with BCAT and the appraisal district to make sure that those dollars that the abatement is paying, it looks like in fiscal year 25 we only received $7,083. It's based on megawatt hours, but we don't get the data that supports those, and so we are going to do an inquiry to make sure that what they're pulling in for that abatement payment is correct, and then also,
Especially if they promise to deliver as much as they promised to deliver.
yes, so that's something that we are looking into, and so we just, I have a meeting with Deb from the BCAD to discuss it, and so we're looking into that. Auxiliary, we've already exceeded our budget for fiscal year. As far as like the year goes, that includes most of our spring. So whenever you think about these numbers, when you look at tuition and fees, whenever we bill the student, when the student signs up for classes, it automatically goes into a revenue and receivable, even if we haven't received the cash payment. So if a student signs up on a payment plan that includes a meal plan, that's gonna already be included in these revenue numbers, but they may pay it out over the months. And so there will be adjustments if students drop or if payments are not made. And so, but this revenue side is based on fall and a portion of spring. For anybody who signed up in January, those numbers are not reflected here. And so we do anticipate these numbers to go up as summer is also coming. And then investment income, as I mentioned, we do get interest income based on that tax maintenance note dollars that are in the bank, and then all of our other, the 14 million that is unrestricted is included in this budget. And so we do expect investment income to reach 600,000 with a spin down on the tax maintenance note, but as of right now, we're only at 36% of our budget. Other income, this month we received 118,000. The majority of that was $100,000 in insurance proceeds related to the storm that happened in June of 2025. We were, based on the documentation I have so far, we expect that the damages were roughly, we're gonna receive 600,000 prior to, or whatever our deductible is going to be, but we will be receiving 600,000 in insurance proceeds. Today, JC's still working on getting the whole list of everything that was included in that report, and I did talk to our insurance agent today, so you won't see these dollars reflected in our budgeted amounts, we're just putting them into other income. As far as expenditures go, it's the classifications, the only one that stands out to me that looks incorrect is our academic support. There was a misclassification of dual credit that was included in instruction that should be, the budgeted side should be in academic support, and so we're gonna make that adjustment for next month. But overall, we've spent 31% of our budget to date, which is through 4 months of the year. And I do want y'all to just keep in mind that early in the year, we're really heavy on contracts, memberships, and software that we pay at the beginning of the fiscal year that will go the whole year, so you're gonna see it trend down in future months, so. The next document is our restricted budget to actual. This is where our debt service payments are made. We haven't made those payments, we'll be making the first one in February for this fiscal year. Interest income is relatively low. Our tax revenues, again, were low this month due to that payment for, that was pulled back for the abatement with the wind energy. And then you will see a large budget adjustment into the grants and contracts for 709,000. You're going to see it on the revenue and expense side. That's related to the RFP that was awarded last month for the dental hygiene chairs. We're recognizing that revenue and expense, and we'll be, we've already placed the purchase order for those chairs. So.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Going back to the revenue that's listed under other. You're listed under other for the report, but if I needed to ask you to break it down, you could still break that down, correct?
Yes, I could.
Okay, that's why I make sure I'm still accurate.
I don't have the details in front of me. I just knew that.
But you could have asked.
And I want to just give a huge shout out to Tara and the work that she's been undertaking. I know one of the tasks that they have facilitated over just these past couple of months is really reintegrating our budget into Colleague, which is the system that we use for operations at the college. So I think moving forward, that's really going to allow us to streamline from a department and a unit level on where it is that we're spending, or not spending, but allocating resources, and how we can be a little bit more frugal in our expenses as an institution. So I know the board, as part of another strategic goals, or the goals that the board has set for me, is looking at expenditures for operations and decreasing that over the fiscal year. So we're looking at every single agreement to make sure that it's in line with the needs of the college, and if we need to renegotiate it in some way or realign it to our needs, that we're doing that with every single vendor. So I think just having that internal control has really allowed us to facilitate the budgeting process in a more informed way. So I'm excited what that will mean for us at the end of the fiscal year, and the information that we'll bring to the board.
So I've already found some substantial savings already.
Yes.
Are we 100% integrated to Colleague already? Or yet, I should say?
Yeah.
Into the budget?
Yeah.
Module? Yeah, so I've been having meetings over the break and into the first week back where we have fully set up the budget module. It's actually ready to deploy. We were just waiting on we're going to set up some training. We're creating those training documents right now where we'll be able to meet with budget managers and kind of just allow them to take ownership of their budgets. We're also currently updating the procurement manual to align better with the needs of the college, to be more efficient and timely in our payments. And so that's something that we've really worked hard on. It's very close to being done. I believe that our attorneys will be reviewing that very soon and getting us feedback and changes so that we can make sure we're following all federal and state procurement laws. And so it's something that undertaking our office has done. Millie's been very involved. She's our purchasing coordinator. And so we're really excited about the work that's being done.
Well, this has been a 5.5-year endeavor, so thank you. Actually, probably longer than that, but.
Tara got it done in 2 months, so we'll.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tara. And that's just part of the work that they're undertaking, and there's other projects that align with just being more strategic. One project that I think is very interesting is just the contract management solution through Bonfire. So we'll be able to look at every single contract and agreement by unit and see as an institution how much funds we're allocating and seeing where we want to invest or reinvest.
Such great
Excellent.
improvements,
Resources.
thank you guys. This
I
is
move
a
to
great
approve
report to
financial
look at.
statements.
Thank you.
Second.
Well, it's been moved and seconded to approve the financial reports for December 2025. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes. Next agenda item is number 11, review of informational reports. Dr. Swartz.
So we are providing the monthly reports for vacancies. It's been provided to the trustees. It's this file here. I know one of the updates requested was just the salary amount from previous reports. We have reintegrated that. So it would be,
Thank you for that.
be open to any questions or comments that the trustees may have. And we can facilitate that with Chrissy for any follow-up or myself as well.
Okay, next item is 11B, board committee reports. I don't believe there have been any meetings by the board committees since our last board meeting. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right. Okay, then the next agenda item is item 12, executive session. And it is now 6:32. The board will now convene in a closed meeting to discuss the following items posted on our agenda this evening as allowed by the Texas Government Code. And they are Texas Government Code Section 551.076, security devices or security audits. Texas Government Code Section 551.071, consultation with attorney. Texas Government Code Section 551.074, personnel matters. All right, thank you very much.
Y'all wanna do the situation?
Yes.
It is 7:56, and the board is back from executive session. There is one item requiring board attention. It's item 9D, review and action is necessary on athletics and community engagement redesign. Before I ask for a possible motion from the board, I'd like to note that the board was incredibly impressed with the number of student athletes that were here present at the meeting in open session. It showed that they have great interest and passion for the athletic programs here at the college, and we did take note of that. We were very impressed with it. It's not an easy decision, but it's one that the board will likely need to take at this time. So at this time, I'd like to open up the floor for a possible motion on item 9D regarding the athletic and community engagement redesign.
I move to approve and accept the athletic and community engagement redesign report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the proposed athletic and community engagement redesign. Any further discussion at this time? Right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Dr. Swires, do you have any announcements at this time?
Yes, just some quick announcements. So the first day of the spring 2026 semester started today. I wanted to highlight that for the trustees. Once again, as shared earlier, we piloted or began the pilot for the 4.5-day work week. That's shown some positive feedback and results for employees. And lastly, the February regular board meeting will be held on Tuesday, February 17th at 5:30 p.m. here in the Sandy Dirks boardroom. That concludes the announcements I have for today, for sure.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes.
I don't want to stay a few more hours. Come on, guys.
I figured you would.
Well, it used to be nice.
Got time on your hands, John.